Do you find yourself scared that your best performing team members may leave? Or maybe you brought somebody on board and you're like, I don't want to spend all the time training this person because what if I do all that and they ultimately leave? So today I'm going to show you how to build a culture that will keep your best performing people there. And this is super important because there is a certain type of culture where rockstar team members will not stay no matter how hard you try. I talk about this a lot in the EntreMD Business School, and I had a doctor, raise her hand on one of our calls and said, I had somebody on my team who was really a poor performer, and I had kept them on for a long time. And eventually I got the courage to let that person go, only to have my highest performing person, my office manager, say, I'm so glad you let that person go. I just decided that I cannot tolerate the culture anymore, and I was about to leave. I want you to think about this scenario. So on one hand, you have a poor performer who is there causing nothing but problems in the practice, and you have who is still there, so they're still causing problems, and you have the other person who is actually the one moving the needle and doing the work in the practice, and they're planning to leave. And so not understanding this creates a lose-lose-lose situation. And you know that running a private practice, one of the most important things you need to have is a very competent, profitable team. That is the only way to have a private practice is growing and you're not experiencing burnout. Okay? So let's talk about these three things, okay? The first thing that you're going to need to do to build that culture is to empower your team members to win, okay? Empower them to win. When I started out in private practice almost 15 years ago, my thought process was I would hire somebody who has the competencies that I want for my private practice, and I don't have to train them. I don't have to train them because I took the time to hire somebody who was competent. And so I found myself frustrated when I realized that they needed onboarding, they needed training, they needed all of these things. I didn't know about empowering people to win. When somebody comes into your practice, no matter how good they are going to need to be empowered to win. I want you to think about it. And, I'm a pediatrician and private practice and I'm in healthcare. So maybe not the best example, but it's the one I've got, right? Think about Burger King and McDonald's. They both make burgers, but you cannot transplant somebody from Burger King and put them into McDonald's and say, may the force be with you. Because in this new company, there's a specific way they do their things. There's a specific way to relate with other members of the team. There's a specific culture. So whenever somebody comes in, there are things you need to do to help them thrive. Now, one of the things you need to do is you need to give them clear KPIs. Like, what are the metrics? How do I know I'm winning? I watch basketball a lot with my husband. He's a fan, so I became a fan by marriage. And one of the things is there's a basket. This is the ball. That is the basket. You need to put this ball in that basket more times than they put the ball in that basket. They know what it means to win. What if they're playing a game and they're going for 90 minutes and the entire time they're just dribbling the ball and passing the ball and doing all these fun moves and the crowd is cheering? They didn't score anything, even though they're busy, even though they're sweating, even though they'll be tired at the end of it. Your people don't know what it means to win except you tell them what it means to win. So you have a medical assistant and you're like, I want people worked up in this time frame. I want, all the paperwork that the patients are going to need afterwards done at this time. I want everybody who comes with an appointment comes in for an appointment to leave with their next appointment. Like, what does it mean? You already know what it is. That's why you get frustrated when they don't do it. But if you don't tell them, they don't know. Right? And so you want them to have clear KPIs. You want them to be trained. Like I was alluding to, you want them to be trained. You want to take the time to train your people. You want to empower them to deliver on the KPIs, right? And so don't say, oh, they're competent, they should be able to figure it out. No, you want them to have training. You want to train them. The third thing you want to do is you want to evaluate them. So you've shown them what needs to be done. You've shown them how to do it, but then you want to evaluate them. Like, okay, so you got this right. It seems we're still struggling with this. What can we do to support you so you can win here? The training is not a one and done. You want to give them the gift of accountability. And the truth of the matter is people who will not be great team players, who will not be great for your team, who are not A players, they do not like accountability at all. But the people who are champions and the people who are A players, they love accountability because they want to win. They truly want to win. So I want you to see accountability as a gift that you give them. You want to reward competence. Your people are not blind, right? And so when I talk about rewarding competence, there are a number of things that, and the first thing really is around, is there a bonus structure? Is there a reward for going above and beyond? Is there a reward for hitting their KPIs? Right now that you have KPIs, if they hit it, is there a bonus? Or does everybody get a bonus because everybody has been there for a year? Does everybody get a bonus because they've been there at Christmas? And there's nothing wrong with those bonuses, but you also want to have incentives that are based on competence, that are based on delivering on those KPIs. The other thing you want to do is when you have people who are incompetent, you want to address that. You want to address that by making their KPIs clear, giving them training, holding them accountable, and all of those things. And when required, you want to let them go. If people understand that no matter what you do in this practice, whether you're doing well or you're doing sloppy, everybody gets treated the same way. Your high performers, chances are they will leave. They won't just stay and say, well, let's just stay. I'll just suck, because high performers don't suck. They don't want to suck. They're not willing to suck. They want to win. So they're going to go to a place that rewards competence. The third thing you want to do is you want to learn their love language and speak it regularly. You may have just had whiplash, like, wait, love language? Is this a video about marriage? What just happened, Dr. Una? What's going on? But their love languages in the workplace as well, right? What is it that is important to the person? What matters to the person? I have team members where personal development is really important to them. And so what I do is I set the stage for that. I get them books. I send them on courses. I take time to coach them. I take time to do all of that. For them, they're just like, this job is the best thing since sliced bread. Some other people, they like to be acknowledged openly, right? And I know that. And so what do? I acknowledge them openly. There's some other people, their pure driver is, Dr. Una, I did the work. I just want the compensation for it. And so you want to understand what it is that makes your high performer tick. You want to know what that is, and you want to address that. You want to hit that like regularly. It will make a huge difference. And I know when it comes to love languages in the workplace, it may be a little more than we can talk about in this video. But if you're like, wait, Dr. Una, stop, I want to hear more about that, just let me know in the comments and I'll do a video just for you. Okay. Now, what we just talked about, empowering your team to win, rewarding competence, learning your team's love language and speaking it often. This is the thing that will make the biggest difference for you. But it's simple, right? It's simple, not necessarily easy. It's simple. But the problem with things that are simple is that they're easy to do. They're easy not to do. And I want to challenge you to take this, and even if it's only one of them you implement, I want you to start implementing that in your practice today. Because I don't want you to just watch this video to say, I watched the video, to be excited about the video. I want you to take this and create changes in your practice, okay? Let me tell you what a high-performing team will do for you. I started my private practice almost 15 years ago, and at this point, I run 5 companies, and I homeschool my kids, and I co-pastor church with my husband, and I have time to go on vacation. And no, I am not burned out, and yes, I sleep every night, and all of that stuff. And the reason why is because of high-performing teams across all my companies, right? So building this will put you in a position where you have a team that will multiply your impact. You have a team that will help you create time freedom and create financial freedom. So this is not something to sleep on, okay? So start doing it today. And if you are not part of the Profitable Private Practice movement, I want to invite you to come join us today, because this is a movement of private practice owners who have decided we are going to defy the status quo. We are going to build profitable private practices that allow us have a lot of impact, allow us have time freedom and financial freedom, which is what I believe every private practice owner deserves, because you have taken so much of a risk to build a practice that you've built. So think about this. You do these things, and 6 months from now, 12 months from now, you have a team of rock stars. You love going to work. You love working with them. They are deploying all of their expertise and their skills and their experiences and doing things that it didn't even occur to you to do, because that's not your gifting. That's not where you're talented. But you have this team that is just absolutely rocking your world. I have that. You can have that too. Okay. So go do these things. And this is your next video. 4 steps to building your confidence after a bad hire. Because sometimes after a bad hire, you're like, okay, that's it. I'm not doing this hiring thing anymore. I'm just going to do everything myself. which is a trap. So go watch the video. I'll see you there.